Okay, I think we are live and I am about 4 minutes early. So when you come on, excuse me, introduce yourself if you don't mind. And if you are on Facebook, if you put your name into, I gotta look at where my camera is. I had it on the other side. If you're on Facebook, if you'll put your name in the comment section initially, that way, well, each time if you make a comment, it helps me. I can't see, Facebook does not allow us in a group to see the names. I will see them when I go back and review the video on Facebook. I'll see the names, but as of now, while we're doing the live, I can't see your name. So, hey, Karen Jo, you hearing all the thunder? Ooh, Lord, girl. I'll tell you what. So anyways, so welcome everyone as you pop in. Again, I'm a few minutes early. It's about 3 minutes to 7, and we'll probably give it a few minutes after, and then we'll start because I've got one project that may take, might take some time to do, but I do have a second project ready in case we have time. Oh, did it? I know it hasn't. It rained a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say a little bit. It rained this morning. I know we heard thunder at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I know about 5:30, 5:45, it was pouring down rain. And then it stopped because my husband ended up playing golf. And it hasn't rained, to my knowledge, at all, except for now I hear the thunder, so hopefully I don't lose, we lose our connection. But I think we'll be fine. I think it's out somewhere else. So anyways, who knows? So, oh my goodness gracious. So, what have you been up to? Anything fun? I was supposed to have class today here at Shell Point. Torrential for an hour, just stopped. Oh, wow. Yeah, must be coming in then. I was supposed to have a class today, or from here at Shell Point, and because they didn't get it listed in our, we have a new magazine that comes out every other month. The one that my dog was supposed to be in as a therapy dog, and apparently she didn't make the July, August, and I haven't contacted the lady yet. I'm hoping they'll put that article in there the following 2 months, but we'll see. But anyways, so I think even though they have it, they have their own local TV station, so they have it there, and then she had some flyers put up on the different concierge desk and stuff. So no one signed up. So I thought, well, okay, I guess I made, for my 3 cards, I did, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I went ahead and made cards, and I made 10 of each. So not knowing how many, because I usually do a morning and an afternoon class, and I thought at least that way I'd get most of it done, and I'll add to it. But so anyways, I have cards already made, so I'll just use that the next time. And the next class, which is next, what are we at? August? I think it's in, yeah, early August. Supposed to go to Marco Island. Oh, she's working a convention. Oh, crud. Oh, that's sad. I don't know. I guess I'm assuming it's raining everywhere. But I'll tell you what, I'll be glad when this stuff gets done. It is just, I mean, it's just getting tiresome. And I feel bad for the people out west. Oh, my God. Can you imagine, like, in Phoenix, that's 100, our, temperature 95, and it feels like whatever. Out there, it's like 110, 114. I'm like, oh, my God, it's just horrible. Horrible. But anyways, I guess we should be thankful, whatever. Just be thankful we're here. So, anyways, so we'll wait and see who else pops on. We're going to be going out on vacation in mid-August, so I'm trying to get some stuff done. I think I'm going to be gone that time frame. I think I'll only miss 1 Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2. But then we come home, and we're home for maybe a week to 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and then we head to Virginia. My girlfriend's daughter is getting married, so we're going to go a week before, and hopefully I can catch up with friends. But every time I put a Facebook post out, and everybody that I had, that responded said, oh, I'm not going to be in town, I'm not going to be in town. I'm thinking, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, really? But, oh well, it is what it is. And then we'll stay at the hotel where the wedding is going to be held that weekend. And then Sunday we drive up to Williamsburg where my husband's family is. And I think we're going to go visit his aunt in Crewe, Virginia. She's was his mother's sister, and we noticed at his mom's funeral she had started having memory issues. And Chuck talked to her son today, and he said that it's gotten worse. So we want to get up there and see her. It'll probably be the last time. We'll see. So, anyways, yeah, Virginia Beach. I mean, I was born and raised there, so I love that place. And they've really, changed up the oceanfront a lot. Based from when I was growing up and stuff. And they've added to the beach, and they have a really nice boardwalk that they've built. I haven't been back since, I'm thinking, I want to say it was I don't think we've been back since my, let's see, I'm due for my 50th reunion in 3 years. No, 2 years. Oh my God. It must have been our 40th. So I guess it's been 10 years because oh no, I lied. We've been back since then because we went to visit his brother. But anyways, I haven't seen my friends in a while. So, oh, you did? You lived there in 4 years? Oh my gosh. Yeah, born and raised there. Went to Prince Anne High School. Did all that, beachy stuff, all that. So, all right. Well, I hope we've got some other people on here because I don't see anybody else. If you're on, make sure that you say hi. Let us know that you're there. And we're going to go ahead and get started at 7:03 because I have a lot to go over. And this one card that we're going to make might take a little bit of time. So I'm going to flip the camera down. But first, let me introduce myself and then I'll do my housekeeping. And hopefully by then, everybody will be back. I am Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, which doesn't, work. Oh yeah, those things are long gone. The feeder roads, they're long gone. They're way gone. Anyways, I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I've been with them going on 12 years. Or has it been? Yeah, going on 12 years, I think. Or maybe it is 12 years. I don't know. But anyways, I like to have fun and teach you all how to do fun fold cards. So, but this evening we're going to do some water painting and some heat embossing. Hi from California. So let's go ahead and turn the camera down, and I'm going to do my housekeeping, and then we're going to get started. I'm not sure if the one card's going to take all night or during the time, but I do have a second card that's pretty easy to do. So let me flip the camera down and let's get started. Okay, so as you all probably know, we are in our online exclusives. And everybody wanted that red truck, and the red truck was sold out, and it was on back order, sold out, and it's not sold out anymore. So if you haven't bought the red truck, excuse me, it's called Truckin' Along, then my suggestion is you might want to get that. I think the punch is on back order, but I would highly encourage you to get the stamp set. And speaking of stamps, tomorrow Stampin' Up is doing a 24-hour 15% off stamps that are in our annual catalog. So it starts at, it would be Mountain Time, which is midnight. So it's going to be 2 o'clock our time on the East Coast. And it will run through midnight or, to whatever Mountain Time is at midnight. So you've got this evening, if you're a night owl, you can go shopping and hopefully get 15% off your kit, off your stamps. I'm probably going to order some tomorrow myself. There's a few that I didn't buy, but I think I will because that will be 15% off plus my 25% that I get. So that's pretty good. So anyways, so keep that in mind. It's only 24 hours, starts at 2 o'clock this morning coming up, and we'll run through the 24 hours through tomorrow. So if you are looking at purchasing any of the online exclusives, then this would be a great time to do that, as well as any other stamps in the catalog. And just as a reminder, and I will put something out later well, not later, but yeah, I guess I better. Today's Tuesday. I'll put it out tomorrow. Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing our creative anticipation. I will put a sketch out tomorrow. It will be on our VIP group page. If you're not a member of my VIP group, then I highly suggest that you go to Shall We Stamp and look for the VIP group and ask to join. There's some little perks and stuff that they get that others don't receive. And so I will post the sketch there. And for those that aren't familiar, Creative Anticipation is where I provide you a sketch. We get together Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then I show you what I've done with that sketch and what I've created, and hopefully you will create or have created something using your materials that you have at home. So it's a good thing. So anyways, enough of that. All right, now, we are in the other thing about buying the stamps tomorrow is if you spend $50 or more, you're going to qualify for for a $5 bonus coupon that you'll receive by email, and you'll get to redeem it in August. And in addition to that, you will also receive my July tutorial bundle, which is 42, I think, tutorial projects that have been created by myself and other demonstrators throughout the United States and other countries. So this is a great resource. Also, you can copy and make these tutorials if you choose to do so. Now, if you're not on my newsletter list, I would suggest that you do that as well, because one thing that we get, that the newsletter subscribers get, are monthly coupons. And each month you will get a discount or a free item or something depending on what month it is. And you will just purchase that item, notify me that you've got the coupon, and then I will reimburse you for that difference. So that's what is in being part of my newsletter list. You'll get, it comes out weekly, and I usually put at least 2 tutorials. And the first of the month, sometimes I put a little extra. All right, so this evening, now I'm not going to show you the card because I didn't make it. We're going to make it tonight. I do have all the pieces done because what we're going to be doing is going to take a little bit of time. So I've kind of done everything in advance, but I'm going to show you what we're going to actually do. So all of the products that I'm using, you can purchase through my online store. And if you decide to do so, you can use this host code right here, and that will notify me, and then you'll get your tutorial bundle emailed to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to be working with the Horse and Sleigh, but we're actually, the only part of the stamp we're using is going to be the sentiment, which is sending warmth your way. What we're working with is we're going to be working with this tree, and we're going to do a scene, a winter scene, and we're going to be using, oh Lord, paste, embossing paste, and we're going to be using a mat, okay? So I'm going to walk you through this. Some of this stuff will take time to dry. That's why I went ahead and done it earlier, so that you won't have to sit here while everything is drying, okay? So let me get my camera. Hang on a second. Let me adjust this just for a second. I don't want that. Let me bring this down just a little bit and shift this over. Okay. Now, so the first thing we're going to do, now we're going to use a mask, and this is a, oh, dude, good Lord, I had it right here in front of me. Now what do I do with it? All right, so we're going to use a mask. Oh, here it is right in front of me. Now, these are retired. These are the loveliest layered decorative mask, and this is the only mask that I have that I think will work, but it will suffice for, I'm going to make kind of some snow. So I'm going to bring in my embossing paste, and we're going to go ahead and I'll just show you what I've done, and then I'll show you the piece once, because this is going to take too long to do. All right, so I'm starting out with a piece of, and what we're making is a slimline card, just to let you know that as well. So this piece here is, I think this is 8, let me get my, hang on a second, let me move some stuff out of the way and I'll get to my thing here. It's 3 3/4 by 8. And this is going to be, it's going to go, I'm sorry, it's 3 3/8, pardon me, 3 3/8 by 8. This is going to go on the front of the card, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to secure this on my, I'm going to use my craft mat, and I'm going to use my tape that's, what is it, cover-up tape or whatever. It holds it down so it doesn't shift, okay? So I'm just going to put a little bit on here because I'm going to do my mask. Now, I don't have, again, I don't have that many masks, so I'm just going to start at the top, and I've already done one of these, but I just want to show you what we're going to do here, okay? So I'm going to go through, and let me just tape this down so it doesn't shift on me. All right, and then I'm going to bring in my embossing paste. Now, my embossing paste hasn't been used in a couple of years, and it was kind of hard. So I took some out and added some water to it, so it might be a little bit gunky, but it this is what I did the other day, and it works. It'll work fine. So all I'm going to do is take my embossing paste, and you can purchase the little knives. They come, I think there's 3 in a pack, and you can get those in my online store as well. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to use my lid too. I'm just going to start taking some of this embossing paste, and I'm going to rub it. Let me get it on the back side. I'm going to rub it down into where these holes are, and you can see mine's a little bit wet. So I'm just going to put these in here, and I'm just going to do it randomly across the card. It's gonna be messy, but it's okay. We'll get it done, because this is not what we're going to be using. We're going to use the one that I already did yesterday. So you just put it on here wherever you want it. And again, mine's a little gunky, but we want to kind of smear it in there so that, and you can use the heat embossing, your heat embossing gun to help dry it, but it works probably better if you just kind of let it sit. And this is really to try to give it like some snow effect, on the ground, because we're going to be stacking some trees up in here. So I'm just going to move this around, and you'll see. So if you haven't done this, this is how you can do, and use a mask. And again, this one just has these lines, and so I thought, well, we'll do it that way. And normally, I would finish this up and go all the way down the card. But since we're not going to actually use this one, then I am going to show you what I've done on the one that's already dried. Okay, so let me just move this aside. I'm going to take this off. So when you take it off, you can kind of get the gist of, let me put this up and see if you can see it. So you can kind of see how there's, can you see how it kind of looks like there's snow on the ground, or however you want to look at it? Again, it would look, if I had done it completely, and I'll show you the one that I did. So hang on one second. Let me move this little nasty thing out of the way. We'll put that right there. And then here is the one that I did the other day. If you, whoops, I'm trying to get in the camera. I don't know if y'all see that or not with the lighting. Can you see the probably not. But that's what we're going to do. So that's going to be supposedly our snow for our trees, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is I am going to work with, give me one second, let me just wipe off the my craft mat. Give me 1 minute here. I've got a little bit of water because we're going to do some watercoloring. But what I'm going to do, now I'm not going to use watercolor paper. You can, but I'm going to use thick basic white. Okay, so I'm using the thick basic white, and what I'm going to do, and I've just cut a piece because we're going to do 6 colors. So I'm going to start out with red. Now there's a couple of things that you can do. You can either take and put either squeeze your lid into the ink pad here, but I usually just drop a thing of ink refill in the lid, and then I'm going to come in with one of our watercolor writers, and this is the large tipped one, okay? Or you can take it and you can run it across your your block, and let me show you that. Let me just grab one real quick. I'll just do this little one. I prefer to do it inside the lid only because it's easier and keeps it, for me it seems cleaner. But if you want to use your block, just, and this is small, but just get some ink on it, right? So you want to get ink on it, and then you want to add a little bit of water, and I've got a little container here of water because we have to clean our brush after each time, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my cardstock. So I'm just going to run some water down through here, and I want to kind of not get it too wet, but I'm just going to run it here, and I'll probably just keep adding water when I do my colors. Now, if I was going to draw my ink from here, then I'm just going to take and use that like my ink pad, okay? So I'm just going to pick up the ink from here, and then I'm just going to start blending it down to get the color that I want, all right? Now, again, this is not going to be as dark, so I'm going to come back, and I'm going to move this, and I'm going to move my, I'm going to squeeze a little bit of water in here. Can you see that? So this is what I prefer because it keeps it contained. All right, so we're just going to add some red, and then what we'll do is we're going to come back and we're going to emboss, and I'm just going to do that. Okay, so that's my red, and we're going to cut trees out of this. So I just wanted to go through and show you how I'm doing all the different colors. All right, so we're going to move that out of the way. And then I'm going to rinse into my water. And then, of course, we want to dab it off and make sure we get it really clean. Right? We want to make sure we get all the red out of there before we add our next color. So we'll just keep dabbing and dabbing. All right, so the next one we're going to do is going to be pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to take a little inker and I'm going to place a little drop right there because I don't need too much. And we're going to do, I've done 2 red, and then we'll just do 1 of each. So I'm just going to take this and add some water and just start swirling that around. And again, it keeps it contained in your lid. And then you just start swiping. All right, now the next one we do, we're going to have to wet our card because we didn't go out this far. See how it's not taking the color? There we go. All right. So that's that one. We'll just do a little bit more, and that should work. All right. All right, so you got the gist of how that's going to work. So we just want to have enough room where we can get our trees so we can cut them out. All right, so I'm going to close this one, and then we're going to come in with our Daffodil Delight, and I am going to add a little bit of ink here. Store your paste with press and seal on it. Oh, well, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to have to buy a new one because I really didn't use it that much. But when I added water, it did kind of helped. It kind of loosened it up, but I had to sit there and squish it a lot. So again, you want to just keep cleaning your brush so you don't get the color. So we'll just flip this over. We want to make sure, and I'm squeezing the water that's in my lid as well to try to make sure I get all that orange off of there. And it's still coming out, isn't it? So that's why you got to be careful. I know my water is orange, but there we go. All right, so now I'm going to take some of this water and I'm going to wet this again because we're now going to add our Daffodil Delight, okay? All right, so we're going to come in. I think I got too much on here, but we'll just kind of dab it. All right, so we're going to come in. And I'm going to drop a little bit more water in there. And now we'll start doing and see how you can see it running. So we're going to drop. So this is how you can do water. And you can use your watercolor paper, but I just decided I'd do it on the thick basic white. All right, so there's our daffodil, and we'll continue, and you probably don't need to watch me do the whole thing, but we'll do it because then I can use this to make another card tomorrow. So here you go. All right, so let me squeeze that out of there. But it really is, the time-consuming part is this right here, is dipping your brush and cleaning it, you know, getting the ink off so you have some fresh color. And so as you can see, let me get my other paper towel here. All right, so now we're going to do garden green. Oops, I didn't add more water. Give me a second. We'll do a little bit here. I'll just get a little bit on there. I have a little bit. So let's add some water to here. And then we'll add an ink drop or two, probably just a drop. Just one little smidgy. This was really, and it was fun because I was learning as I went along on how to do this and had to get my colors the right color that I wanted. And one of the things I did yesterday is my red ended up looking like it was pink, and I think it's because I did not clean my brush very well. And so you can see what I'm going to add a little bit more water, pull in some of that ink off that's hiding. Get some from there, and then you can see that's what we're going to do. So there's our garden green, and then we'll move on to, we're going to do Gorgeous Grape. Don't ask me why, I just thought it'd be pretty. All right, so let me clean this one again. So this is a neat thing to do. So if you're just starting out with stamping, you know, this is pretty easy. All right, so let's see. We got those. Pardon me for having my arm in here. Let me get my colors. What color is that? Pumpkin pie. All right, here's our Gorgeous Grape. I'll put a little bit in here and make sure that my color, I think, has come clean. So I'm going to take some water and we're going to wash this again. And I think probably next time I'll do watercolor paper just to see what the difference is going to look like. And that's really dark, right? So I need to add some water to that. So that's really dark. So some of these, you know, you're going to get a much darker color. So we'll just add some here. That's pretty color, isn't it? So there's a lot you can do with watercoloring. So now you could be a watercolor artist, right? All right, so that gives us there what we need. And that would be enough room for me to get my tree in there. All right, so I'm going to close that up and see why I want to keep it like this. It keeps everything contained in the lid, and then you don't have to worry about it spilling. Let me flip this over a little bit. We'll just do one more color, and then we'll finish up what we're going to do with the card, and then we'll go on to our other card that we have. We should have time. All right, I think that's good. Nope, so you can still see it coming off. So this, when you get down towards the end, it looks like it's going to take a little bit longer, especially when you got the darker colors. Okay. All right, and then the next one we're going to do is azure. That's how you say it. Is that how you say it? I'm not even sure. Oops, and you can tell this is a new one because that lid right there is clean. And we've got this azure afternoon. So let's put one little drop there because this is a dark color as well. All right, so I'm going to water up my last part. See how my purple is starting to run over. All right, let's do that. Let me make sure I got this clean. I'm squeezing, there's water in the color thing here. So I'm just trying to get my purple out because it gets up into those brushes. You can still see it's a lot. That's why those darker colors are really hard to get the color out of them. All right, so let's see how that works. Let's put some water in here. All right, and that's still damp. And then we're just going to come in with our blue. And you can get these, you can make them as light as you want or as dark as you want. It just depends on how much ink you want, strokes you want to go over, you know, on your card. And then you could do, you know, if you wanted to not have to wait for this to dry a lot, you could let it sit, or you can use your heat embossing tool to help dry it, okay? So that's how I did my strip. And then I'm going to move these over here so they're out of the way. And then that way I would come in with my tree and run this through the embossing folder, and then I'm going to have a tree in each color. So that's going to be, it's kind of like the rainbow, and I did 2 reds. So and then we're going to take, and I cut 2 of these little snow mounds out, and I also embossed these as well. All right, so with that, let me move this over here out of the way because I don't want it to be a mess. Hold on. That can get messy. And I'm going to move. Let me clean off my brush just a little bit, and then I'll finish this later. And I mean, I'm going to put all of this back here because I don't want the water to get spilt. It comes flying where I'm at. Okay. All right, so let me show you what I did. So now we have, all right, so we're doing our slimline card. Pardon me. And again, my measurements are, you're going to start with a piece that's 7.5. And this is basic, thick basic white. 7.5, and your score at 3 3/4 because that's half, right? So it's 7.5. And it's by, let me get to right to the edge here, and that is at 8 1/4. Okay, so 7.5 by 8 1/4. You're going to score it at 3 3/4. Okay, so we're going to take and burnish this because I want to get this nice and flat. All right, and then I'm going to take my embossed piece that I did the other day, yesterday, and we're going to lay it right here, and we're going to start building our, let me wipe this off. Give me 1 second so I don't get red on it. Okay. So we're going to take our trees, and I've cut out my trees. All right. So all you're going to do let me get them all over here, is we're just going to add these trees and then add our snow mounds. So here's the trees that I did. Now, again, you see this is green, which is a lot lighter than what I used for the garden green. So that's a little bit lighter. And that's my blues, my purple, and my orange. Okay, so all I'm going to do is try to lay these down here and figure out how I want this to look. So I'm going to lay this right here, and then I'm going to glue these down once I get it how I want it. All right, and then we're going to come in, and I'm going to do, let's see, we'll do the orange, we'll do a yellow, and let's see, orange, yellow. Let's do a green on this side. We're going to tuck these guys in. I think we'll do that. Maybe make one a little bit higher, one a little bit lower. I'm just trying to see how I want it to look. And I want to make sure I have room for my sentiment. And then I'm going to put this one down here, I think. And this one will probably go right about here. But I think it's a cute card. So let's see. We want to get one up higher. Let's do one a little bit low. And then they can overlap a little bit. I think that'll look nice. Okay, so let's start gluing these little guys down. So I'm just going to tack right down the back of the tree on the stem. Whoops, this is a new one. Hang on. First you don't get glue and then it comes all out, doesn't it? All right, hold on a minute because this is a lot of glue. Let me just see if I can spread it around. I tried getting glue out of the other one. I thought, okay, this one doesn't want to cooperate. All right, so I'm going to lay this one right here. So I'm going to put him right towards the top. And I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to come back and add a little bit under to hold the branches down a little bit. Get that down. And you can always do a glue dot if you want to do it that way as well. I'm just going to put a little dot right there, which is probably way too much. I think I'll take I'll put that one right there and glue him down. Put some right about here on, oops. This is why I said it would probably take a little bit of time because it's a little meticulous and trying to get all this done. All right, so now I'm going to come in and hopefully this glue doesn't, hey there, how are you? Hopefully this doesn't start oozing out on me. So we'll just put a few little drops and I want to make sure I get some at the top so it does lay down, but we don't want it, we do want it to sit up just a little bit, right? We don't want it to look like it's completely flat. And then I'm just going to tuck him like right next to him and come down just a little bit. Okay. And then we'll come back and add our snow mounds because I have those right here. But we'll do that. We're going to get our trees done and then we'll come in and fill in with the snow. All right, so let's see. We want to go ahead. Let's try to like, let's bunch these together. Maybe we can put one up a little bit. Maybe we can just bunch them. Let's see. How do we want to do this? They're different colors. Let me put the orange. I think I'm going to put the, whoops, you got to be careful because you don't want them to rip. They're very, delicate. I'm going to put this orange one, which looks kind of peachy. Let's put him in the center, and then we'll kind of build around him. I don't want to squeeze too hard because I'm afraid I'm going to get, I probably should have got one of my sponges out. Whoops, I grabbed the wrong one, that's why. I should have got one of my sponges and just used one of my sponges. That would have made it easy, huh? All right, see why I said this is, it's a little tedious, but it's relaxing in a way because when you get done, you're going to have something really nice, right? All right, so let's lay that one. I'm going to put him right, about here. Let's put him right there. We'll lay him down. And then I think we'll put, oops, get down there, Bubba. All right, let's do the green one. We're going to kind of put these guys as a cluster. I keep grabbing the wrong glue. I keep grabbing the glue that's in my my holder thing and not the one I want to use, which is in my glue holder. And I'm just trying to lightly put some glue, and if I have too much, I'm just trying to spread it. And I do need a little bit right here on this guy. So barely touch it. All right, so let's put the green. I think I'm going to move him like right about here and hopefully touch down on that. And you can place these however you want, but I'm going to make this like a grouping. And then we'll put the other two down, and then we'll do our sentiment. And then we're going to do our, we're going to heat emboss our sentiment. That we will do that. So, all right. So I'm getting that on there. Hello from California. How you doing, Betty? All right. So we're going to put this one right about here. All right. So we're going to lay him down. We're going to kind of make him look a little, well, let's see. Let's pull him down a little bit. All right. So we'll set him like that. All right, then the next two we're going to do, we'll put one here, and then I think I'll do one like down like this. And then we're going to punch in, and these guys could have been adjusted more, and then I'm going to add my little snow things on the side. So let's, let me go ahead and get these glued down. I just thought this would be something different. This is something you definitely don't want to try to make a lot of, or you'll be driving yourself crazy, unless you have lots of time. You know, so I'm going to put this right about here. My gray, this one I think is Highland Heather. I think I did it different colors. Let me put a little dot right here, because I know that needs a little bit of glue. All right, and if he pops up a little bit, that's okay, because it kind of makes them look like they're coming off the page. And this is going to get attached to the front of the card, in case you're wondering. And then the second card we're going to do is a really neat, it's another fold, and it's a new one, so you'll like that one. That one's really easy, and it's using that wonderful paper. So, again, don't forget, tomorrow is the 15% off stamp sale. 24 hours only. So we're going to put this right, I'm going to put it down here, because I'm going to have to make room for my sentiment. We'll probably put that right in this area. All right, so hopefully those little guys are going to stick. Now what I'm going to do, and see how my mounds are kind of moundy with the snow. I'm going to place one. I think I'll place one. I might do it like that. It could, well, the top of the tree is going to be in the way. But you know what? We could take that off and no one's going to notice it, right? Because it's going to be underneath. Nah, let's see. Let's do it this way. We'll cover up this one. So let me cut this. I'm going to snip this off here. So these are the mounds in the the die set, and then I think I'm going to do a mound. I think I'll do one right here. So I'm going to trim this piece off. So we don't need that. I think I'll just glue him right here. Try to make it look like we've got some mounds of snow, or maybe I'll put it up there. And then this guy's going to go. I'm going to cover up his branch. Okay, so we'll do that. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on here. I think once we get this done, it's gonna, I know it looks kind of weird right now, right? It will look fine. So we're gonna put this little snow right there, our little mound of snow. I need to bring this tree up. Let me see if I can move him up without tearing him, and we'll have him moved over. Well, we'll just leave it like that. All right, and then this one, I think I'm going to put up here, because he's in a spot that's kind of high. So let's put him up there. All right. Okay, so now we'll lay this one down. Let's put him right here, because that kind of looks like he's naked. So lay him right here next to the edge of the card. We have the little, so it looks like we got some snow mounds. And we want to make sure everything kind of sticks, right? Now, you probably want to cover this when you go to mail it. If you, well, you may not want to, you probably won't have as much stuff on here like I have as far as my snow. All right, let's do another one. You know what? Let me lift. Can I do that? No. I'm going to lift this guy up and see if we can get that. Yeah, I think I'd rather do it like that. Or maybe I should do it this. Well, I want my sentiment to go here. So let's do... let's cut a little piece here. Let's do that. See, I'm just kind of winging it here, guys. So we're going to put him right there. He's going to kind of go like that. And then we're going to cut another piece off. And we're going to make him go. Actually, we're probably not going to use this piece. I should have left it. We'll put this one here. We'll add him over right to the edge of the card. We'll put him right there. And then we're going to put this one over here. All right, let's put this one on. The other one I cut in half. It looks kind of goofy, so we're not going to use that one. But we're going to put our sentiment right in this area. And I'm going to take some of my glue because I got a lot there. So let's put this one right here. I could have made them a little bit longer. And we'll just put a little snow right here. That's fine. All right. All right, so we don't want this piece. We're going to toss him. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is we're going to heat emboss our sentiment. And I think I showed you all this last week, if I'm not mistaken. And this is on page 136 of our catalog. And it's our embossing tray, which is a wonderful thing because we have our embossing buddy, which we never used before. We never had them before. I mean, we had them and then they got rid of them. And now they have this back, and this tray is wonderful. It's on page 136. It's right here. It's number 7. And it's an embossing toolkit, and it comes with your embossing buddy, your powder pal, your reverse tweezers, so you don't burn yourself, which a lot of us always try to do. And then we have a brush to sweep off any of the excess glue, embossing powder, or glitter, or whatever you're putting on there, okay? All right, so what we're going to do, now I keep my powder in a little tray, so I'm not going to dump it in here. I normally would, but I'm not going to do that today. So the first thing that we want to do, and I don't think I'll need my brush, is I want to take, and you need your Versamark. Now, if you're not familiar with Versamark, this is a watermark stamp. It's a watermark ink. So when you stamp this, you can stamp it in whatever color paper, and it looks like it's, you know, if you're stamping something on your colored cardstock, it gives it that watercolor, it gives it the tone-on-tone look. So that's kind of a nice feature as well. All right, so the first thing you want to do when you're going to do some heat embossing is you want to take your embossing buddy, and we're going to rub it all across, or however you want to do it, all across your cardstock that you're going to be stamping on. And I'm just going to rub it across the whole thing. We're not going to use the whole thing, okay? And I always keep it in its little baggie just to keep it clean and the powder from flying everywhere. All right, so I've got that done. So now I'm going to bring in my Versamark, and we're going to do the stamp set. Oh, no, I don't want that one. We're going to do Sending Warmth Your Way. So I'm going to ink it up. And it's a real sticky ink, and sometimes it doesn't feel like it's going to stick, like you're not going to get it off. So I'm going to stamp this right here, and I'm going to let it sit for just a minute and make sure it gets on there, and then I'm going to lift it straight up. All right, now, this is where the magic starts to happen. So I'm going to take this, and we're using white embossing powder. So all I do is scoop I've made a little half circle here, and I just cover. I put a lot of my embossing powder on here because I want to make sure I get it all colored and covered. And then you just want to tap off any excess powder. All right, and I think we're good there. It looks like one little spot on my S, so let's try that. Make sure we got enough on there. Okay, and I like these little containers. You can get them at the dollar store. I found this one at, I don't know, what was it? The place that's... oh, no, I got them at Michael's, I think. Okay, so this is my little my tray, and now we're going to do some heat embossing. So it's going to take just a minute. It's going to be loud, so just bear with me. So I'm going to turn on, and I'm going to let it sit for just a minute, and I'm going to move my tray out of the way so it doesn't blow any of the dust around. And then if you want, you can hold it underneath and start heating up underneath. And then what I normally do is I start, and it takes a minute, and if you got to get your gun at an angle, and once you get it at the right angle with the temperature, you'll start to see the powder melt. All right, see how that S is going and the sending? Can you see that? So we're going to work our way down. And I'm going to make sure I get, there we go. And now we're going to do your way. All right. So I'm just going to hold it one more time and make sure I got my way right. And I think we're good. And I'm just going to do underneath just a little bit. Woo, that's noisy. All right, so there you go. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right, so now what I'm going to do, let me, you know what? Oh, there it is. I was looking for my stamp pad. I'm going to wipe this Versamark ink off my stamp. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card front, and then I'm going to fussy cut that out. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. So I'm just going to use my liquid glue, the green glue, Tombow. You can pop it up if you want, but I don't think we need it popped up because we've got the snow and all that stuff on there. All right, so we're just going to lay that right on here, and it should give us a little bit of a border based on the card. All right, so we're going to lay that there. And all right, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to fussy cut, and I know that you love this. I'm going to fussy cut out the sentiment. I think it'll make it look a lot nicer. So just give me a second and we'll go through and try to do this real quick without making too much of a mess. And always when you're fussy cutting, get your scissors all the way, your paper all the way to the back of what you're cutting so that you've got a little bit more ability to maneuver with your hands. And then we'll just come down here and we'll just do a little bit of fussy cutting around this. We'll go up there a little bit and come back down. And then we'll come up. And we'll go up a little bit more. And I'm just going to cut that off. It's easier for me to handle it. And then I'm going to come around and we'll just take your time. Sometimes I get a little bit anxious because I'm in a hurry, not in a hurry, I shouldn't say that. But I want to get it done, right? But you just got to take your time. And just kind of follow the pattern of the lettering. And it will be fine. And again, you know, when somebody looks at this card, they're going to have no idea what this is supposed to look like. And then I think we'll pop this up or not. We'll see. I'm not sure. All right, so we want to come around. We got the eye there, so I'm going to snip that off. And I'm going to come and do that. And you just got to keep turning your paper and try to get it. See, we're getting it. There we go. I don't want to cut my S off. And we're going to come around the S and then come back around. And this will make the sentiment, it won't look so bulky with all that black paper. And so we'll just come around one more time and trim that. All right, so there is our sentiment right there. Sending warmth your way. It looks like it's freezing cold out there. And I think I'm going to place this, I think I am going to let's put some mini dimensionals on here. I know I've got some minis. I'm going to have to cut off the, I just put some, hang on a minute, I got some right here. I don't want to cut the pieces off because these are going to be exactly what I need. So we'll put some little minis on here. So let's place one, whoops, place one right there on that spot and right there. And we may have to cut one of these in half, but we might be able to get away with it this way. Okay, and I think we need one right here. Let me get my tweezers. Might have to cut him in half to go right, yeah, I think I will. All right, give me 1 second. Let me just cut this little boy in half. Okay, and we're going to place that one right here. All right, and we'll put him over there for now. All right, so we're going to place that. So again, it's a little bit time consuming, but I think it makes a really pretty card. And if you get the right mask and kind of can get the a shape that would give it more of a snow effect, or you could just draw some, you could do it yourself. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this right here So it kind of hides the stems of the tree right there. So it kind of covers that up. So we'll put that right there. And then there is our card. And then you can put whatever you want on the inside. So what do you think about that? I think that's cute. I thought it was something different. Again, my embossing folder probably wasn't the best, but you get the idea. I think it's a nice one. All right, so there is that one. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so there is our embossing paste with our heat embossing, or emboss with our white powder. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All right, so I'm gonna set that one up there for a minute. Now the next card, give me 1 minute. I got, let me wipe my fingers. I got glue on my fingers. Oh, I know. Oh, I've cut myself. I thought I had a, I told my husband the other, oh, I'm bleeding now. That was good. I told my husband the other day, I had a plant that was dying, and so I took it apart and because it got too wet, and so I was letting it dry out. And when I told him, I don't know what happened, but it seems like with the anyways, my fingers were burning and tingling all yesterday. It just killed me. Or this Sunday, I mean, not yesterday. All right, let me quit talking. Here's the card we're gonna make, and I've got all the pieces already cut, and I'll go through that. All right, here's the card. And then this is a square, 5.5 by 5.5 square card. And then this opens up. Look at that. So this is using one of our sheets again of that paper, the designer paper in the online exclusives. And that is called the Horse and One Horse Open Sleigh paper. And this is the one that has all of the various pictures with the back and all that. Okay. So that's what we're going to make. So now I made an envelope using the envelope punch board, and you use a 9, I think it was a 9 by 9. If you have an envelope punch board, it will give you the measurements. I didn't have much to look at as far as Christmas, but I thought this was looked appropriate, and then I just took one of our rectangle scallops and put that on there so I could put my mailing address on there. So there's my envelope. But it's going to be a, oh gosh, I am really bleeding. It's going to be a 5 by 5 card. Oh, you know what? It would help if what did I do with my card? Hang on. I thought I had my cardstock sitting over here. I think I used it earlier. Hang on a minute. Let me grab one. All right. Woo, I am really burning, bleeding now. All right, so we're going to cut our cardstock, and let me pull out all my pieces, and I'll go through everything that we'll need. Hopefully I don't get, God, I'm getting blood all over everything. Good Lord. Must not have, shouldn't have done that, huh? I think it's sticking to the glue on my hands. Oh my gosh, hang on a minute. Let me put some pressure on it. All right, good Lord. Okay, so we're gonna cut this. We're gonna cut this down to 5.5 by 5.5. Okay, so we're gonna do a 5.5 by 5.5. So we're gonna make, I'm sorry, 5.5, pardon me. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's 5.5 by, yeah, 5.5 by 10. It's gotta be by 10. Let me open this up. I don't wanna get blood on my thing. Hang on a minute. I didn't write this down. I should know better. Yeah, 5.5 by 11. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Yeah, 5.5 by 11. And this is at 5.5. Okay, so we're gonna put that right there. So 5.5 by 11. This is 11. Make it 5.5. So we'll go ahead and cut that. Whoops, hang on. My paper's not in here all the way straight. All right, let's try that again. All right, so it's 5.5 by 11. And then we're gonna turn and we're gonna score it at 11. So half of 11 is 5.5, right? So let's make sure we've got our scoring blade. And this is at 5.5, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And there is our card. Now you can always, if you want to make your own card, you can always get some designer paper and lay it down and measure what you need to get it to fit your card. And give me 1 second. I'm going to just keep this thing wrapped on my finger so I don't get my blood all over. Sorry about that. All right, I'm wounded. Okay, so we got 5.5 by 11 and then score at 5.5. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to use this piece right here, and we're going to cut this down to 5 1/4, right? So we want a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 square. So I'm going to cut this side because I don't really need the tree because we're going to decorate. Okay, so we're going to cut down from 5.5 to 5 1/4. So we're going to cut this piece off here. Now keep that because you can, add that to the inside of the card or whatever. And then I'm going to cut down from the bottom. So again, I'm going to make this at 5 1/4. And I'll just cut this part off right here. And again, this is something that you can use. And this is the back side, so you can always use that as well. Ooh, Lord, hang on a minute. I'm still bleeding. I think I pulled the skin, and that's what's making me bleed. And I don't think I have any Band-Aids here because I'm not here enough to worry about having Band-Aids, but I guess I better bring some, huh? Okay, so there's that. And then that's going to go on here. Okay, but before we do that, we're going to do that first, and then we're going to cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to adhere this to the front, and then we're going to cut to get our flap, okay? And then I'm going to give you the rest of the stuff that we're going to need. Hang on a minute. Let me just wipe. Hold on. I'm trying to wrap this thing around my finger so it doesn't come off. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our adhesive. Don't you just love this paper? I do. Okay, so we're going to put adhesive on here. Oh, and before I forget, because some of you might not be on my newsletter, I am going to do a Zoom bingo in August. So if you're interested, let me know. It's going to be on a Saturday, and we'll make cards. I'll send you card kits. We're going to make holiday cards, and we're going to play a couple games of bingo. And if you're not on my newsletter, then let me know. I'll send you the information. I just put it out on the newsletter today. All right, so here is, hang on, I gotta get the powder off here. All right, so there's our card. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is bring our paper trimmer back in. I wanna cut this up 2 inches, and I want it on this side here. I'm gonna cut it up to the fold. So I am going to turn it this way, because I want to manage it this side. So I'm going to line it up at the 2 inches. You got to make sure you've got a strong blade because we're going to be going through 2 pieces, right? Paper and cardstock. So I'm going to get it lined up at the 2 inch mark. All right, so there's our 2 inches, 2 inches. And I'm going to come up right to that fold, right to our score line. So I'm going to push down. I'm going to push hard because I've got, and I just changed this blade too. Now our marker, if you see where my finger is, there's a little tab right there, and this is the center. This is going to tell us where we are with our cut, so I know I'm right at the edge. And let me just lift it up, and I've got a little bit more because my blade right here is the end of where my blade is, okay? So that's the track, and you just want to watch that until it gets right to our score line, and we just did, okay? All right, so that's what we need to do. That's the next step. Okay. Now, that's how that's going to work. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this down. This side right here. We don't want this one. We want this one to glue down. This is what I'm saying. It's a really cute, easy card. Something different. Just a different way of cutting and folding. Okay. So we're going to fold this down like that. And just hold it for a minute. We might want to give it a good burnish, make sure our glue sets. Okay. Now, in the event that somebody wants to have the card stand it up, then we're going to put this over here. My finger's fine. Then I've cut a piece of white cardstock, and we're going to put this on the back here to give it just a little bit of stability, because we did cut that. And if somebody wants to stand their card up, this will help hold that front piece a little bit stronger. So this is 5.5 by 3/4 of an inch. you don't have to add this, but I think it would help. And if they want to show off their card that you sent to them and they want it to stand up, then I would probably add this to the back. And, you know, they may see it when they flip it over, but really, who cares, right? They won't know what it's there for. They just know that you did it. All right, so we're going to lay that right here, and it's going to go right up to the top. And we're going to hold that in place, and I'm going to make sure it's even. So let me look at that. Yep. And then I'm going to trim mine over just a little bit, which is fine. I'd rather have it up a little bit than not. And let me get my eraser. Hang on. I gotta find my blue eraser. Oh, well. Okay. We'll get that later. All right. So I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm just going to snip right here. This little piece that's hanging off. Okay. All right. Okay. So there we go. So there's our card. It lays flat, and then this part will open up with, so you can write your sentiment. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do is I use the Stylish Shapes, and I took another piece of the same designer paper, but a different picture. It's the one that's got the brown fences and the snow in the background. I wanted this design here. We're going to build a little scene. So we've got that, and then I've cut out an old olive tree and a mossy meadow tree from the stamp set. And then I used a pecan pie, and I cut out 2 of the sleigh runners. I'm just going to lay these right here for you so you can see them. So we've got the circle, and this circle is the third. Hang on, let's show you. All right, so there's our circle. There's our trees that we need. Whoopsie. And then I did a banner out of real red, and we're going to heat emboss this one as well. All right, so the circle is from Stylish Shapes, and I used the third from the third largest, so the third one in. And then I used the largest, let me get over here in the camera, that would be helpful. So I used the third one in, from here in, and then I used this frame for the banner, okay? And you can see you've got all different sizes of squares and some other small little banners as well. So that's what we used. All right, so then the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to start building. So I'm going to add some adhesive to this, and we're gonna lay this down. Now you wanna make sure you don't get it, you wanna keep it right to the edge, because you don't wanna overcover that area that's gonna open, right? So we're gonna lay this down, and I'm probably gonna put it right about here. And I'm just gonna leave it right towards the edge, not quite. I've got about probably 1/16 of an inch. All right, so we're gonna lay that down there. And then we're gonna come in, hang on, I gotta find my, hold on, I'm looking for my ribbon. I have it over here, and I had to move everything. Hang on one second, I know it's here. Where are you, Bubba? All right, hang on a minute, let me find him. Oh, well, have you gone? Oh, here it is, right where I left it. Okay, I have to bring all my utensils in. Okay, so we've got that down there. Now we're gonna apply our trees. So I think I'm gonna put this, and this is gonna be more like foliage. So we're gonna add this, and you can use glue or you can use glue dots, either way. So let's go ahead and add this guy. We could probably do a glue dot. Let's do a glue dot. Let's do that. Let's try something different. All right, where are you? Here you go. All right, so let's stick a glue dot on this guy, and hopefully we don't tear him. Oh, got that one off with my thumb. All right, so let's put him down. If I can get it off my finger. All right, I'm gonna set him right about here, and it's up to you, however you want to design your thing, okay? And then I'm gonna take this guy. Actually, I want him to go a little bit more this direction. All right, so we're gonna leave him there. Maybe we'll put a little bit of glue. I don't want him all the way glued down. I do want it to stand up just a little bit. All right, so let's do that. All right, and then this one, the Mossy Meadow, I'm gonna tear this branch off, and then we'll kind of have it so it's not too bulky, okay? So he's gonna kind of lay like that. They're kind of be laying next to each other. Actually, I think I'm gonna glue this one down just a little bit down here. Nope, I got the right one. All right, the dog's on the move. I don't know what she's doing. All right, so that's good. All right, so we're going to apply that one right about like that. Okay, so we're going to put that there. And you want them kind of standing up a little bit, right? All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take, now this is retired, I think. I'm not quite sure. This is the Simply Elegant Silver Trim. I don't know if we still have this. This is really terrible. I probably should know that. I'm going to cut a piece, and we're just going to add, and this is going to be way too long, so I'm going to trim it down. But I'm going to add this. We're going to kind of, let me cut some of this off. Okay, so we're going to cut this in half, and we're going to take some more glue dots, and we're going to pop these on with the glue dot. And I'm going to use my, oh, there's one right there too. I'm going to use my scissors. And this is just to give it some, I'm going to place that right there. This is all going to be covered up in case you're wondering. This is just going to give it some sparkle for Christmas, right? And then this one will attach right, let me get another glue dot. Never have enough glue dots. And this is really an easy card. I mean, you can decorate it however you want, right? So we're going to put one there. I'm going to keep my finger wrapped up because I don't know what, I think it stopped bleeding, but I don't want to take a chance. All right, and then I'm going to try to pull this with my thumbnail and try to get him to go the other direction so he's not quite hanging off the card all the time. And let's do the same thing with this one. All right, so we've got them like that. And we can trim that up just, let's trim those up just a little bit. I don't want to do too much. And we'll trim that one right about like that. Okay. All right, y'all still with me? Okay, so far that's what we've got. Now we're going to take a piece of this organdy, and I think, yeah, I'm probably using stuff that's retired, but my apologies if I am. Any kind of ribbon that you have, if you have the new red and gold, that would be pretty. I don't have that yet. And we're going to place this right about here. So I'm going to get another glue dot, and we're going to stick that one. Let me get my scissors. It's easier with my scissors. I probably should be using my take your pick tool, and I'm not. So I'm just going to place it in the center here, and then fold that over to hold my ribbon. And then I'll adjust it as I need to. All right, I think that looks good. And then we'll take another piece of glue, another glue dot, and we'll add it right to here. All right, and then we're going to lay that down. Get it off my finger. All right, we're going to lay that down right here. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Let me pull this over just a little bit. And then we're going to do our sentiment. All right, I think that'll look good. All right, I'm going to set this off to the side for just a second. We are now going to heat emboss, so we're going to bring and then we're going to add our sleighs to the bottom of that. So let me bring in my embossing tool again. All right, so we're going to come in here. We're going to get our embossing buddy out. Excuse me. We're not going to be too late. We're almost done. All right, so let me get that on there. All right, that's good. See, this is a really easy card. I mean, I like this one. Okay, so we're here. Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. Now, this one, we're going to use the wishing you a season of cheer. So we'll stamp that right about there. And I just like to let it sit for a minute or two just to make sure that my Versamark transfers. Okay, perfect. All right. Excuse me. All right, so let's cover that up. Okay, and get our powder. Oh, we get to do the loud gun again. So let's get that in here and get all of our stuff covered. And we'll just start right there and go all the way down. And we'll do one more on the S. For some reason that S seems to, maybe I don't put enough strength on it. All right, so we're going to tap any excess off. And this is where the brush comes in handy. And like right here in the corner, I've got some little particles right there. So I'm going to brush that off so that it doesn't, you have to be really careful so it doesn't heat that, and then we have a couple of pieces of white right there. So we're just going to brush that off, and I think that's good. And it looks like we might need, let me try a little bit more right here, just on the season part. Okay, all right, I think that's good. So let me put this over here. Oops, making more noise. All right, so move that, and I'm gonna get the gun out again, the heat gun, here, heat tool. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna start at the bottom a little bit, just get that one kind of heated up. And this is probably where, I think I can do this one without using the hook, but if you need it, that's what it's there for, the little holder. So we're just gonna, again, once it gets to the right temperature, and you get it at the right angle, then you'll start to see it. And actually, I do need that little thing. Hang on a minute, because it's getting hot. Hang on, let me get this in here. Yeah, let me hold it, because it was getting a little hot. There we go. That's how we were supposed to do it, right? Here we go. All right, now we can start heating. And once we start to see it turn, there we go. Now it's turning. Isn't that amazing? Whoever came up with this. Isn't that clever? Look at that. What a difference it makes, right? Just do underneath a little bit. Looks like I wiped some of my white off my S, but that's okay. Okay. All right. So there is that. So we're going to let that sit for just a minute. I don't know if I'm done bleeding or not. I think I might be. Okay. So we've got this. Now let's, where's my bone folder? I'm going to just give it a little bit of pull here. All right. So now we're going to add these sleighs. We're going to put one on the back. So we're going to use our adhesive. We'll put one on the back side and then one on the front side. Whoops. And again, we just want to use a little bit, you know, tap a little bit of glue. And then we'll be done. So let's get that. Let me make sure I get some adhesive on the sleigh. Okay. And we don't want it right there. And you can use your tweezers, because obviously that would probably be helpful. Now I'm going to set this in the back and have the front stick out a little bit. But I want it right on the edge of, like that. There's a little line there, so we're going to put it down just like that. I'll put it on my craft mat so I can get it up just a little bit. There we go. Now this one you won't see as much because we're going to put the other one on. And then we've got another one that we're going to put on, but we're going to put him here. We're going to move him back just a little bit. So this one we want to put some adhesive on the back side. So we're going to put some dots of glue, whoops, right here and right there. And I think that we should be good with that. And then we're going to attach this one, and we'll put it down here. Let's put him right about, let me see, how did I do it? Yeah, right up. I don't want to cover up my F. Let's do it right about like that. We'll just do the bottom part of the F. All right, so there's that. You can see my glue, so I will come back with my glue eraser and get that off of there. Okay, so there's our sleigh. All right, isn't that cute? Okay, so now we're going to take that and we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. And I guess we're going to use the old my side versions here because I don't have any. I mean, I have them, but I don't have them right in front of me. So let's just go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back. And then we are going to, now what we want to do, keep in mind, we don't want to go past, right? So I want this to lay right about like that so that I know I can't go past the word U so that my card opens. So I know my dimensionals can go, and we'll double check because we don't want it to close, you know, on the part where our card's going to open. So I can do another one right about, let's see, we can do one right about there. I think we're good. All right, so let's see, we put that right there. Yep, perfect, okay? So just remember, you don't want it to go all the way across, so keep it on the left side. And, all right, so there's that. And I've got my ribbon there, and I think that looks fine. And then we're gonna pop this over that, and then have our sentiment. Yep, we got plenty of room. So I'm gonna push it down right about here. And there is our card. Isn't that cute? I know embossing really takes your card to another level, doesn't it? I mean, and it's so easy to heat emboss. So there you go. Now you open it and you've got another type of fun fold, and then they can set their card up like that. See how it stands now because we put the support brace there. All right, pardon me. There you go, everyone. That wasn't as bad as I thought. It's only 8, not even quite 8:15. So let's bring in the other card. So two ways of the embossing. Heat embossing is fine because that's like a it happens right now type thing. I think I need to put another dimensional right here. The wet embossing, or the embossing paste, if you will, that one is it's time consuming because you've got to let it dry. You can try to dry it with the heat gun, but again, sometimes that might take a little bit longer, and you may not want to do that. So, okay, there we go. All right, so there's our two cards. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something new. And again, we've got our two little scraps here, right? So if we wanted, we could also, if we wanted to add something, we could put that right there. But I don't want to take away from writing because that's not a lot of space. So we'll keep these and use them for something else. Oh, wait, we're not done. Wait, I got to put my snowflakes on here. Oh, my gosh, I'm talking. Forgot. Hang on. Y'all are probably leaving. Hold on a minute. We got to get our snowflakes. All right, so this is part of the suite as well. You get white, copper, and gold. So let's put a couple of snowflakes on here. I'm going to take a large one, and we're going to put a large one here. And let's do a medium. Let's see, we got mediums over here. This is a medium. We got 3 sizes, large, medium, and small. So let's get, hang on a minute. Let's put another one right, let me pop him off. Come on, baby. And let's do him right about there. And then let's take a baby and we'll put him right down right here. There we go. Now we're done. Now we've got our snowflakes on there. Can you see that? One there, and one right there. All right, now we're done. Thank you again, everyone, for taking time from your Tuesday evening to watch me. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not doing anything on Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, join me. I will be on our Facebook group, as well as I'll stream to YouTube, and we will do our creation anticipation, and I will post tomorrow the template. And if you're interested, pardon me, in getting any more information on possibly doing my bingo, let me know and I'll get that out to you. I've got to finish putting together the page, but I'll get it to you in the next couple of days. Okay. Thanks again, everyone, and I will see you on Saturday, if not next Tuesday. Bye now.